Formula 1 2025 has begun, and we already have a major warning for Ferrari fans. Lewis Hamilton may be facing a bigger challenge than anyone expected. The preseason is only just getting started, but what happened on the first day of testing in Bahrain took everyone by surprise. While Hamilton made his official debut for Ferrari, a Mercedes rookie stole the spotlight and may have shown something that could completely change the course of the season. If you're a Formula 1 fan and don't want to miss any behind-the-scenes updates, make sure to subscribe to the Formula 1 news channel, turn on notifications, and join us as we cover every detail of this preseason. Now let's break down everything that happened in this first testing session. The soccer circuit in Bahrain was the stage for the first test session of the season. Mild temperatures, strong winds, and high expectations marked the start of the team's work. It was 4 hours of track time with no major mechanical issues or interruptions, which is a positive sign for all teams, allowing them to gather crucial data on their cars. But let's get to what really matters: lap times and driver performances. From the start, Hamilton and his first official appearance with Ferrari were the main focus of the session. The Brit did not take long to push hard and even topped the timesheets, setting 1 minute 32.621 in the first hour and a half. However, as the session progressed, other names started to emerge at the top, and this is where the first big surprise of the day came in. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the young 18-year-old driver, put Mercedes on top with an impressive 1 minute 31.428. This time was almost half a second quicker than Hamilton, who finished in fifth with 1 minute 31.834. This already raises an alarm at Scuderia Ferrari. Is Hamilton still adapting to the SF25, or has Mercedes already started the season with a stronger car than expected? And here's another big question: could Antonelli be a real threat to Hamilton and Verstappen this season? The young Italian had already been labeled a rising star, but leading his first official preseason test session with the Mercedes senior team is quite an achievement. Liam Lawson, who has finally secured a full-time seat at Red Bull, was only 0.132 seconds behind Antonelli, showing that he could be a dark horse. Alexander Albon in the Williams also impressed, finishing third with 1 minute 31.573 seconds, suggesting that the British team might be making progress. Now let's talk about what happened behind the scenes at Ferrari, and this might catch a lot of people off guard. While Hamilton struggled to adapt to the SF25 and tried to find the car's best balance, Ferrari covered his garage with a screen. This immediately sparked speculation. What were they hiding? Could there already be a critical issue with the SF25, or was the team simply trying to keep its aerodynamic changes under wraps? Another key factor was the strong winds on the track, reaching up to 40 kilometers per hour, which made life difficult for many drivers. Hamilton, Jack Doohan, and Liam Lawson all ran off track at certain moments, though without major consequences. These small incidents could indicate that aerodynamic adjustments are still ongoing. But here's something to keep in mind: lap times at this stage don't necessarily reflect true performance. Teams are running specific programs, often carrying sensors and equipment to measure airflow and aerodynamics. Additionally, fuel loads and tire compounds can significantly affect lap times. The most important factor at this stage is car reliability, and in this regard, the first day was very positive. No teams faced major mechanical issues, and the drivers managed to complete a solid number of laps without serious setbacks. Tsunoda was the first to complete 57 laps, roughly the same distance as a full Bahrain Grand Prix. Now the question remains: does Antonelli's pace suggest that Mercedes is already ahead? Will Hamilton be able to adapt quickly to the SF25 and bring Ferrari to the front? And what can we expect from Lawson and Albon, who also showed great speed? Share your thoughts in the comments. Red Bull Racing took the RB21 out on track for the first time at the Bahrain International Circuit, during a filming day that served as the driver's first opportunity to test the car before preseason testing. Max Verstappen and Liam Lawson shared the RB21, each having a session to test the car and collect initial data. But here's where things get interesting. Verstappen praised the car, but was extremely careful with his words. He mentioned that this was just a first run to get comfortable with the car, without going into detail about its performance. Does this mean he genuinely trusts the RB21, or is there still uncertainty within Red Bull? Verstappen also stated that the main focus of testing will be understanding where they can gain time, and that he has not set any goals for the season yet, as he doesn't know how competitive the car truly is. But is this just a mind game to throw off Ferrari and Mercedes, or does Red Bull still have doubts about whether the RB21 can maintain their dominance? In the afternoon, Liam Lawson took the wheel of the RB21 for the first time. The New Zealander has finally secured a full-time seat, and this is the most crucial moment of his career so far. But here's the big question. Lawson stated that his goal is to be fast and deliver what the team needs. But will he just be Verstappen's wingman? Or could he surprise Red Bull? And if Lawson proves to be more competitive than expected, will Red Bull allow him to fight freely? Or will he be forced to play the team game? This could be one of the biggest storylines of the season. Lawson will be under enormous pressure, and if he fails to deliver in the first few races, could Red Bull already start considering a replacement? Here's the most intriguing detail of the session. While Verstappen and Lawson completed their laps in Bahrain, Red Bull focused more on the car's reliability than outright performance. This could mean two things. The RB21 is already at an impressive level, and Red Bull is hiding its true pace. There are still some doubts within the team, and they want to ensure the car has no mechanical weaknesses before revealing its full potential. But here's another key detail that many overlooked. Verstappen stated that he has not set any goals for the season yet. Does he really believe that, or is this just a strategy to mislead Ferrari and Mercedes? Additionally, Bahrain's cooler-than-expected conditions could have affected the data collected by the team. Could it be that the RB21 will only show its true strength when the conditions are more representative? Red Bull's first run with the RB21 was positive, but questions about its true potential remain. The team has dominated Formula One in recent years, but with Ferrari and Mercedes working hard to close the gap, did they manage to stay ahead? Red Bull has begun its mission to reclaim the constructors' title, but the big question is, will this be another season of absolute dominance, or will we finally see a real title fight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Christian Horner did not hide his frustration over what happened at the event and strongly criticized the boos directed at Max Verstappen, calling them disappointing. He compared the situation to launching an away kit in a rival team's stadium. And he has a point. The O2 Arena was packed with passionate Formula One fans, and Red Bull, having dominated the sport in recent years, naturally drew a polarized response. But what really stood out was that it wasn't just Horner who received a negative reaction. Verstappen himself was not universally welcomed. This raises a major question. Are these boos a sign that fans are growing tired of Red Bull's dominance? Had the event been held in the Netherlands, as Horner pointed out, the reception would have been entirely different. But what does this say about the popularity of the reigning four-time world champion? Horner also highlighted how Formula One's fan base has evolved in recent years, and he's absolutely right. The Drive to Survive era has brought a new audience to the sport, and this has changed how fans interact with drivers and teams. Rivalries have become more intense, and the relationship between fans and the sport now mirrors what we see in major leagues like the Premier League and the NFL, which brings us to another question. Is Red Bull becoming the most disliked team in F1? Verstappen and Horner have dominated the sport for years, and now it seems their success is creating a backlash among certain fans. But could this actually affect the team's performance? The truth is, the more successful a team is, the more divisive it becomes. We saw this with Schumacher's Ferrari era, Vettel's Red Bull dominance, and even Hamilton's Mercedes reign. Now it seems Verstappen is experiencing that same pressure. The controversy grew so much that even the FIA felt the need to step in, issuing a statement calling for more respect towards Verstappen and Horner. In their official response, they acknowledged that rivalries are part of motorsport, but that maintaining a culture of respect is essential. But here's the real question. Should the FIA be getting involved in this type of situation? Horner made it clear that Red Bull did not request the FIA's support and had no discussions with them after the event. This means the FIA acted on its own, perhaps in an effort to prevent this kind of behavior from escalating throughout the season. But will their appeal work, or will the boos towards Verstappen and Horner only grow louder as the season progresses? Despite the controversy, the event was widely praised. Drivers like George Russell, Esteban Ocon, and Pierre Gasly highlighted the incredible energy of the crowd. Comparing it to major sporting spectacles like the UFC, Ocon even stated that it was one of the most memorable moments of his career, noting that the interaction with the fans was something he had never experienced in F1 before. But will this format continue? Gasly has already suggested that he'd love to see a similar event in Paris, raising the possibility that Formula One is testing a new approach to car launches for the future. Formula One is increasingly moving towards entertainment and show business, and events like this could become the new standard. But is this a good thing for the sport? The boos directed at Verstappen and Horner during the F1 75 event show that F1's fan base is more divided than ever. Red Bull remains the team to beat, but could this growing rivalry among fans start affecting them? This is one of the biggest questions heading into 2025. The four-time world champion could use this as extra motivation, or it could be a sign that F1 fans are ready to see a new champion at the top. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Verstappen turning into a villain for the fans, or is this just part of the sport and something Red Bull shouldn't worry about? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the Formula One news channel to stay up to date with everything happening behind the scenes. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates, and let's get ready for another thrilling F1 season.